Salut à tous, c'est Paul. On se retrouve encore une fois à Anvers pour une interview avec un joueur des Copenhagen Flames, roeJ. Ils viennent de perdre contre Spirit. Ils sont actuellement en 2-1. How do you feel, roeJ?
Pretty bad, to be honest. I mean, we had a pretty good chance of winning this game. We got a good veto. I think we, won the first map. We played all right, I think, and on Mirage, I think we also played pretty good, and we had a chance to win the map. But they just played like pretty good in the middle of the rounds and like late round. They were pretty good. They were very decisive, and we weren't. So I mean, they punished us a lot. And I think on Ancient we started T side, and we just lost entries all the time. And if you lose entries all the time, then it's really hard to play. And I think Patsy shut down middle quite well alone, and when you can shut down mid down alone or like with two guys every single time, then T side is really hard to play because it's really easy to know where the T's are and stuff like that. So, but yeah, they played really well. So.
And let's talk just about the past, about Stockholm. You did a great major in Stockholm. You were an outsider at the time, but after the major it was more complicated. How do you explain that it was that hard to get back online?
I think like especially playing in like it was the biggest tournament for every one of us, I think, and then the amount of feelings you feel when you play these important matches, and like it's a dream we're all living, and we are so close at getting our sticker and coming to the arena, and like all this was just we were kind of like living in a fantasy almost, and then you come home, you sit alone, and you play an online match that doesn't really matter that much compared to what you just played, so it can be kind of hard to motivate yourself and like have the same kind of intensity when you're playing and the same kind of like mood and energy. So I think we struggle a little bit with that. We kind of saw it coming a little bit and tried to prevent it from happening, but I think it was pretty hard for us coming back and just going back to the grind online tournaments and all these kind of things. So yeah, it was just really hard because like the emotions is just way different, and the way we played the games was just way more different as well. So I think that had a lot of impact.
And there were rumors about a buyout of your team. Does it play on your?
Yeah, for
your
sure. Like
performance?
I think we negotiated or like we're part of this deal with the complexity for almost 2 months. So of course it feels a lot, and it was very slow, and we were kind of in a weird place with the organization, right? Because we don't really like Copenhagen Flames doesn't really have the budget as like all the other big teams. So we were kind of in a weird spot because we were like almost top 10 for a brief moment, and like consistent top 20 like since then, and. It can be really hard, to play when like the future is a bit uncertain. You don't know if you're going or not, like all these things. So it fills the head a lot, and I think that had a lot of impact as well. And yeah.
At the end, during the rumor, you qualified pretty easy. How do you explain this change between before the rumor and after this rumor?
I'm not sure. It's pretty weird, but somehow we just really we just thrive on lane. We just play better on lane when we are in this environment, and there's a lot of pressure and all these kind of things. Of course, we do a lot of mistakes, and we play a bit differently because of the pressure. But I think it also benefits us in some way. At least I think it it has to, because we are just playing really good on lane, and I think our playstyle fits the way we like on lane. The playstyle fits it really well, and I think it benefits us a lot the way we prepare and all these kind of things. So. In general, I just think it's just a different team. It's almost like we're a different team when we're playing on lane, and Armar was on lane again, and we stepped up, and especially in the best of ones, we somehow have some magic there. Like I think we lost maybe one best of one in all these tier 1 events for the last major as well, and we won maybe 13 or 14. So I think that helps us a lot, especially because from the start you just start with best of ones, and when you win those and we get some momentum, it's really good for us.
And at the time of the rumor, what was your goal for the major?
I think first of all we just wanted to qualify. I think it's all kind of just coming to the major is really huge for every single player. We were there once, and it was kind of we didn't really expect it at all to happen the first time, but this time we kind of had an idea what we had to do. We just had to go through the Swiss system to get into the major actually, and I think with the teams there, I think we felt that we were pretty confident in getting a spot. I don't think we expected to go 3-0 and go it that well, but I mean we were definitely coming to the RMR with the expectation of making it to the major for sure.
And now, what are your expectations?
I think just coming to Legend stage and doing pretty well in the best of ones is pretty fine for us. I think what we have shown so far is pretty good, but I think everyone on the team really wants to beat a good team in the best of 3. And now when we're already 2-0, of course, it's like it will also qualify us for the arena, right? And that's a really big dream for every single one of the team, player of the team. So I really hope that we can make it.
And If you make it, are you afraid to play in a big arena like the Sports Palais of Anvers?
I'm not sure. I think it would be a bit scary maybe at first, but I think when we kind of get used to it a little bit, I think it will be kind of the same as in the studio because there's still a lot of pressure in the studio. Of course, you don't have the audience and stuff like that, but I don't think that it's gonna, be way more pressure or like way more nervous when you're on the stage. I think it's gonna be kind of the same, but the sounds are different because you can hear the audience a little bit through your ears, and like the viewers, it's a bit different. But I think it's gonna be a bit like the same. But of course, it's hard to say because I haven't really played in front of a huge crowd yet and all these kind of things, and it's a long time I've been on a stage as well. So, and for the other guys as well, like I don't think they have tried it at all. So it's just gonna be a huge experience and a huge dream come true for every one of us.
I hope you will make it. But let's talk about the other teams of this major, like Bad News Eagles. This team, it reminds me like your team in Stockholm. And what do you think about them?
Yeah, actually, it's funny. We talked about that as well because they were getting a lot of attention and they were playing very good and they were surprising a lot of people with their play style, a bit unique as well. And we actually talked about as well that they kind of reminded us of ourselves, like how we felt. They probably had the same feeling a little bit. Everyone is looking at them and they're doing really good. And I think so as well. I mean, they're really good individually. They have a pretty unique play style, and it fits them pretty well. I think so. So I mean, I'm really happy that they're doing so good because they also deserve. They don't have an organization, all these kind of things. So it's kind of hard as a player to sometimes move around in all these events because it's. I think it's just way more easy when you are on a team in a big organization. You kind of have an idea who's going to stay. There's not uncertainty if a player is going to leave soon or get bored and all these kind of things. And there's way more stability. And I really hope that they get that soon because I think that as a player it's really nice to have in a team.
And you just played Spirit. What do you think about them? It's a very young team, very talented. They are in 3-0. Are you surprised about their performance?
A little bit. I think they're playing really good. I think like the young guys they got in, Patsy and Siren, I think they're doing a really good job. And I think Chopper as an in-game leader and like the leader of the team, I think he's done a really good job being able to perform like this already. I mean, they have had some time to practice, but I think it's just they had a bit of troubles in the challenger stage. But I mean, I cannot not be nothing but impressed by how they're playing because they play with a lot of confidence. They take the duels. They are not afraid, and they play structured, like kind of similar to how we want to play as well. And I think it's really hard to play against when they hit their shots. And just have to give props to them. They're playing really good, I think.
And in the past, you were at Mad Lions. Does this experience in Mad Lions help you right now to play better, to have some more experience than the rest of your team?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I've been playing in a lot of high pressure games, and I felt that like I have had the same feeling for a lot of times, and I kind of know how I feel and how I should deal with it. So of course it helps me a lot. I think this is just something that comes with time, experience with like the young guys as well. Of course you can still perform and play good, but if you're down and you lose your momentum, I think that's when it's really hard. And I myself even struggle sometimes to keep up the energy levels and all these kind of things, because momentum is so important in Counter-Strike. But I mean, you can always, the more you go, the easier it will get to control these feelings, for sure.
Okay, thank you, Roy. But I have one last question.
Sure.
What is it like to play with a player like Nico Odos, who is not verified on Twitter?
That's a pretty good question. It's actually pretty embarrassing, to be honest. I mean, we are 4 verified guys, and he's not. I mean, and I think actually he could. I think it's something with his profile picture or something, or something like that. So
the anime picture.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it's kind of embarrassing, but it is what it is, right?
yeah, but you have to pinch him.
Probably. I mean, he has to get verified soon because we're doing better and better. So at some point he has to.
Thank you, Roy. At FACAM we have a tradition. The player can finish the interview. You can conclude it with whatever you want.
Okay.
So the camera is yours.
Okay, Roy. I'm just gonna say, go Falmouth.
Ok, thank you Roy. Merci à tous. Vous pouvez nous retrouver sur YouTube, Twitter ou Instagram pour le reste du coverage du Major. On remercie beaucoup Roy d'être venu malgré la fête de Spirit. C'est vraiment très gentil de leur part. Et on se retrouve bientôt. Salut.
Thank you. Thank you.